Football coming. It's a battle for Texas. Joe Mixon, goodbye. Touchdown, Texans. A walk-in. Touchdown.
We have a lot of moving parts going on, and we just have to be cleaner and more detailed in certain spots. We're not playing well enough, execute well enough, coaching well enough to overcome some of the mistakes we're making at the critical times in the game.
Ball knocked out of his hand. He gets it knocked out by Petrie, and the return for the touchdown.
Look at S.A. putting in work in the gym. Okay, go on with your bad self. Jeff Saturday, how are you, sir? S.A., good morning. Shannon Sharp, how we feeling, team?
Good morning. How y'all doing? I'm feeling good. How y'all doing?
I'm feeling amazing.
Steve.
Go ahead.
Hey, man. I'm not sure what you were wearing up in your gym, but bro, what kind of gloves you got on, man? Like you got some elbow straps on that. You got some tendonitis.
First of all, I saw y'all on Get. Hold on, I'm trying to talk to you, Jeff. I saw y'all on Get Up this morning. Just for the record, let me confirm. I do have elbow tendonitis. That's why I was wearing that. That's true.
Go.
Outside of that, I'm sitting there watching the game, and the next thing you know, I'm just like, yo, I'm in a good mood and stuff like that. I said, let me share it with the people, because I'm a man of the people. Hey, Shay, Shannon Sharp, Jeff Saturday.
Yeah.
As always, like I try to tell y'all, I'm Stephen A. Smith, and I approve this message.
All right.
Remember that.
I do like the
Let's
blue,
roll.
Stephen A., and I'll leave you with this. You like it? I love it. Let's go. Joe Mixon ran for 3 touchdowns to extend his TD streak to 6 games since coming back from ankle injury. Derek Barnett returned to fumble 28 yards for a score, and the Texans beat the Cowboys 34-10. Dallas dropped to 0-5 at home and is the first team in NFL history to trail by at least 20 points in 6 consecutive home games, including last season's wild card playoff loss to Green Bay. Okay, S.A., I'm coming to you. How do you feel about Dallas right now?
In all seriousness, sad. Usually, obviously, I'm somebody that is unapologetically overjoyed at the misery of Cowboy fans everywhere under normal circumstances. But this is not a joking matter. It's not fun. It's not fun anymore. I know I did the video last night, y'all, and all of that stuff and having a good time, but I woke up this morning and I was feeling very, very sad. The Cowboys are pathetic. They just are a shell of what they used to be, and what they used to be wasn't good enough. So you know how bad it is now. Dak Prescott is up in the booth. Even he's trying to hide his face half the time. Micah Parsons looked like he's about to see a therapist because he's so depressed on the sidelines. Don't even get me started with CeeDee Lamb and what life must be like for him. We've learned why Cooper Rush is indeed a backup, despite being 5-1 as a starter coming into playing this season for the Dallas Cowboys. You've now 0-5 at home. You've got 6 straight home defeats dating back to the playoffs last year, where you've trailed by at least 20 points in every single situation. We're seeing Mike McCarthy melting down on the sidelines before our very eyes. And it's just one of those situations right now, guys. I'm going to say this, and I want Shannon and Jeff Saturday up on the screen when I say this, because I'm not joking when I say this. I'm getting very, very worried about Jerry Jones, because the only thing that's worse than the team's play is his press conferences, or whatever you want to call it, when he's in front of the reporters, where he says one thing after another after another. I find myself thinking about, Joe Biden before he backed out of running for re-election. And he's only 1 month. I think Jerry was 1 month older than President Joe Biden, for crying out loud. I remember when I was on the airwaves, literally, guys, 9-10 months ago. And I was like, yo, he can't be the nominee. You ain't gonna make it to the Democratic National Convention. Y'all got to change. Y'all got to do something to change. And I'm looking at Jerry, and I find myself asking, where the hell is Stephen Jones? Where the hell are his family members? Who is? I know he's the owner and the president and the GM, and I get all of that. But somebody in your inner circle has to be able to stop you from just adding fuel to the fire, because it is so bad right now. They've literally took the fun out of it. I know you saw me with the video last night and all of that stuff that got posted this morning by my social media person, but I didn't wake up laughing, because it's not a laughing matter. It is a sad state of affairs with the Dallas Cowboys, to the point where it almost is an exercise in cruelty to keep laughing at them because of how bad stuff is. That's just where I'm at with it.
Yeah, I think when I think about the Dallas Cowboys, this is an earned place. So I don't feel sad because you've earned what you got. We said this the entirety of the offseason. After we saw what happened in Green Bay in the playoffs, and then as the offseason was continuing and they don't sign Dak until the first day of the season or whatever it was, the day before the season started, they wait on CD Lamb. They push this thing out. They could have had Saquon. They could have had Derrick Henry. They could have had Joe Mixon. They could have had a number of different players help them in the backfield. They decide not to do that. They're going to get 2 aging backs, and Dowdle to be that. They're going to have 1 receiver, and then hopefully Cooks is going to be the 2. They're going to have a defensive front that got pushed around all last year. It's going to look even worse. They didn't add inside there with a new defensive coordinator. This was expected. The only one who got surprised by this, y'all, was Jerry Jones. And I understand what you're saying, Stephen A., about you feel bad. You don't feel bad because you could have fixed it. You could have had $20-some-odd million of cap space walking in the season and built this team. This team was not that far away. They look much further away now because of how bad they played defensively early in the season, and they start taking these beatings, and then Dak gets hurt. This season's over. I mean, we said that when Dak got hurt. No one thought Cooper Rush was going to come in and this thing was going to turn around. And so when I look at this football team, it was earned in the offseason. In the offseason, this was earned. So I don't feel sad. We don't feel sad for the Bears right now. No one feels sorry. That's the one thing about the NFL, man. Ain't nobody feeling sorry for you, right? Nobody, oh, man, it's got to be a tough situation. I've lived it. Shay, you've lived it. Ain't nobody feeling sorry for you. You should have fixed the problem when you had the opportunity. You didn't, and that's why your fans are heartbroken. And right now, how my man Stephen A.'s heartbroken, too, for the fans. That's when you know we've gone off the rails. When Stephen A. is a Cowboy fan because it's heartbroken the same way. Ain't nobody feeling sorry for nobody up here.
Shay?
No, I don't feel sorry. As a matter of fact, I'm about to have a parade. I downright love it. Because all they do is run their mouth, and it starts with their owner. He tells you what a great job he's done putting this roster together. All these guys talk about, we're going to have a historic defense. And Mike McCarthy, we've been 12-5 the last 3 years. Last year ain't got nothing to do with this year. It's like playing poker. The last hand has nothing to do with this hand. This is a total set of cards, new cards. All they do is talk and yap, and we have to cover them because they're box office, because they're the Dallas Cowboys. They're the most visible sports team in all of pro sports. But they deserve this. They got what you said it best Saturday. They've earned this because of what they did. If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten. They couldn't stop the run last year. They couldn't run the ball last year. They couldn't run the ball the year before. And all of a sudden, you bring back the exact same roster. And somehow you're going to run the ball this year with a back that you got rid of because you said he didn't have it anymore.
Right.
But you bring him back and say, you know what? He went to New England and found whatever it is that he lost. He found it. Let's bring him back. Really? Is that what y'all really thought, Stephen A.? Oh, I remember. Do y'all remember they lost the game to Baltimore and Dak was walking down the hallway? Jump off if you want to. Jump off if you want to.
Right.
I'm like, who the hell jumped on? Y'all the Dallas Cowboys. We've seen this movie for almost 3 decades. I don't need to see the sequels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 10. I know who you are. I know what you are. You're undersized on the defensive line, and you're built to play with a lead. But unfortunately, you can't get a lead. So now you have to sit there and catch blocks, and people going through you like Sherman went through the South. They're terrible, and I love it. I can't think of a better team and a better owner for it to happen to, because he runs nobody else. What other owner, Stephen A.? You've covered this game. What other owner? There are 2 owners that yap. One was Al Davis, rest his soul, and the other is Jerry Jones. And Jerry Jones is actually worse than Al because he doesn't know when to stop. He can't stop. You know why?
Well,
because he loved the sound of his own voice. They're in trouble. They were always going to be in trouble. And I didn't need Dak to get hurt. And I hate that Dak got hurt. But I saw the way they were losing. Saturday, like you said, we've been there. When you start losing like this, every home game you're down 20 and you find yourself getting beat 34-10, 34-6, 47-9, 28-25, which was a close game, closer than it should have been, 44-19, and now 48-32. Detroit once I saw Detroit throw back shoulder fades to the tackle, run flea flickers to the tackle, I said it's over. It's over. Next thing, the only thing I wanted to see was some little people get out of a small car Saturday because this was a circus.
Listen, like I told you before, I want you to make sure we understand something here, okay? See, it's a beauty that comes with you being good enough to tease the audience and then ultimately come plummeting down. That's what I have loved about torturing Cowboy fans over the last few years. There's nothing to I have no ammunition. They just stink. And so as a result of that, it's like, you're like, you got to be kidding me. Because the crowd knows that they stink. Half of them didn't seem like they were there last night. I didn't see any little kids crying. I didn't see parents crying. I didn't see the sister with her arms forward looking like y'all ain't worth a damn. I saw none of that, okay? And it was a problem. I didn't see stuff like that. I mean, yeah, that's good, but that's nothing compared to the tears, the misery, the hope that was there, and then it ultimately came crashing down. This is different. And here's what I would say to you Saturday. Here's what I would say to you, Shay. See, they were 12-5 back-to-back-to-back seasons over the last 3 years, okay? Yeah. This is the part I think y'all missing. Jerry Jones, he made good business decisions in the past. Now, obviously, with your head coach, your ego and stuff like that would get in the way. But we didn't find ourselves in a situation, well, wait a minute. If you sign Dak earlier, if you sign CeeDee Lamb earlier, this is going to save you more than $20 million in cap space. You're going to be out there to go ahead and get additional assets. You got a guy, a bell cow by Derrick Henry, who's going to be a Hall of Famer. The brother lives in Dallas in the offseason, works out in Dallas in the offseason, and publicly stated for the record he wants to come play for you. And you didn't even give him a call. You're seeing some of this stuff. These are not things that you customarily saw even from Jerry Jones. That's why I brought it up. There's a reason to be concerned and sad. It's not just that they're losing. It's not just that it's earned, Jeff Saturday. It's that even for Dallas, even for Jerry Jones,